Why did you enter Australian politics, and have you done what you came to do, Mathias Cormann?
Well, look, I've always, from a young age, been fascinated by the opportunity to make a difference through the political process, and I've had a very strong view from an early age on about what is required to help make communities strong and resilient, and make sure that people have the best possible opportunity to get ahead. Now, I mean, I never planned as a young person that one day I would be in Australia and end up getting into politics in Australia. But when life did take me to Australia, it turned out that the most immediately transferable skill and passion that I had in life was involvement in politics. And so I started my professional career in earnest in Australia as a staffer to a senator back in 1996, the then Senator Chris Ellison, and I guess the rest, as they say, is history. I've sort of got more and more involved and more, I guess, connected with what could be done to help make our great country an even better country.
It turns out gardening wasn't your calling after all, but as you leave politics, how do you see the state of it? Is it becoming more partisan?
Well, I mean, the state of politics is a reflection of the state of where the community is at any one point in time. I mean, our democracy is appropriately and necessarily and inevitably robust. I mean, if there are issues that are being fought out peacefully, through our parliamentary processes, it is a reflection because of a level of unresolved issues and tensions and polarisation on issues across the community. So our political process, our democratic process, our parliamentary processes offer an opportunity to resolve those issues and reach a consensus on the way forward, in a peaceful manner. And I mean, I think it's very important, and we should never wish for a parliament that is at all times, entirely peaceful, quiet, and non-robust. I mean, the partisan nature of politics from time to time, and there is a lot of bipartisan work, incidentally, but the partisan nature of politics emerges in relation to issues on which there is a strong diversity of opinions across the community, and it essentially helps to facilitate the best way forward in a way that has got democratic support. And I think it's a very important feature of our system. It served Australia very well, and may it serve us very well for many, many years and decades to come.
It hasn't always been peaceful within your party either, Mathias Cormann. Your power is subtle but very powerful. Your support has meant the survival or otherwise of at least 2 prime ministers. Have you felt the weight of that?
Well, look, I've always taken the view, if you put your hand up for this sort of job, your job fundamentally is to make decisions based on what you think is right, in the circumstances, to make judgments. And at times that is awfully difficult. But, this job does involve a lot of sacrifice in terms of time away from home, from your family, from your loved ones. And, why do all of that if when you're here and decisions need to be made about the best way forward, you shirk it? I mean, I've never shirked making a decision that I felt was necessary, and of course you do it with your eyes wide open. But my very simple view is at all times try to do the right thing for the right reasons in the right way, and everything else will take care of itself. I mean, of course in politics there's always a lot of commentators, there's always a lot of people who have a view, who might throw rocks at you from time to time. But in the end, you've got to be able to live with your own judgments. And I certainly live at peace that I've always sought to do the right thing for the right reasons in the right way.
Well, it's about this time we ask you, do you have any regrets?
No. I mean, look, I can honestly say that from the moment that I walked into the Senate chamber for the first time back in 2007, all the way up until today, including going through 2 more weeks of estimates at the end. I mean, I've given it my everything. I've not left anything on the field. I've loved this job, but I'm looking forward now. It's been a great opportunity to serve. It's been a real privilege to be able to make this sort of contribution to our country, but I leave absolutely at peace with the knowledge that I've given it everything I have, and that I've always tried to do the best I can.
Well, I did ask some of your former colleagues what I should ask you today, and Joe Hockey perhaps suggested that I ask you, do you regret smoking cigars with him?
No, I don't. I mean, look, I know that it became, a big thing, but I've got a lot of friends in the Labour Party, including a very popular former Prime Minister, who's sadly no longer with us. Who I know, very much enjoy their cigars, and in fact, believe it or not, I mean, I was with our then Governor General, Sir Peter, and our former Prime Minister Bob Hawke at the Boer Forum in 2015, which was not that long after when a few cigars might have come out of Sir Peter's top pocket. And let me tell you, Bob Hawke, as a great Labor man, enjoyed his cigars. Kim Beazley, as a great Labor man, enjoys his cigars. There are many. I thought there was a lot of politically charged hypocrisy in the sort of characterization of what it meant. I mean, Joe Hockey is a great friend. We've done great work together, and look, it was unfortunate that we ultimately gave the opportunity for the 2014-15 budget to be branded that way because of that. But in substance, I mean, there's surely nothing wrong after a hard day's work to catch up with a mate and have a cigar.
Well, Christopher Pyne also suggested I should ask who you'll miss, and I think it was, he was angling, probably wanted you to say that you miss him, but we'll leave it there. Behind every man is a great woman, and you have three of them, in fact. Hayley, your wife, and your daughters Isabella and Charlotte. Has your commitment meant their sacrifice at times?
Look, I mean, there's no question. I mean, Hayley has carried the burden, at home for me to be able to do this job. I mean, Hayley is an accomplished professional woman in her own right. She's, she's pursuing an outstanding career in the legal profession. She was the president of the Law Society in WA during my time in this job, and all the while, while of course, taking lead responsibility for looking after our two beautiful children while I'm away. I mean, in this job, other than this year during the coronavirus pandemic, which has sort of changed the routine somewhat, but in an ordinary year, as finance minister over the first 6 years, I mean, from the middle of January to the middle of December, I would be interstate over east every week. There would not be a week that I would be spending, in Perth. And so, I mean, that has meant a lot of pressure. And I mean, I could not have done this without, Hayley putting, all of that support, behind me in relation to all of these things.
I'm sure we have plenty more time on your hands now. Mathias Cormann, appreciate your time. It's your last interview with us as Minister, but as you look towards the OECD, I reckon Sky News back in the day taught you how to set up yourself in a studio, so perhaps not the last interview, full stop.
Well, I'm looking forward to what lies ahead, and I'm certainly going to give it my best job on behalf of Australia to secure this position. I'm very grateful to the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition for having put their faith in me, and I'll certainly do everything I can to repay that faith.